Okay. All right, guys. So we are recording. Thank you for being here on our Monday night Zoom. Tonight's topic is a pretty popular one, and we don't talk about it enough. And today, of course, I was finishing up my taxes with the accountant, and I was like, probably should have some of these conversations with people on the team. So we are going to be talking about handling your money, keeping track of your money, that kind of thing. Before we do that, though, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Please don't forget Wednesday night is the mastermind. This time it is with Dana Chuba. She is awesome and feisty, so you guys should love her, love that and learn a lot from that. Also, so last week and a little bit the week before, from Maria on down, basically Susan spearheaded this event where there were 10 speakers every day for 10 days, and they discussed a topic. Well, now they're going back and they're doing the same speakers, and if they discuss the topic, they're actually taking you through, like they're doing a work with me on just that topic. So something I did not realize until it was too late, it's not always at 1 o'clock Eastern like the original thing was. And you have to go to the graphic and look. Each speaker is talking at a different time. So this morning, Kayla Fox, I was revved up and ready to go at 1 o'clock. And did you see the change to the event? No, what change?
She canceled the event and then redid a new one for the whole event because it was taking the recording and putting it somewhere I think that it wasn't supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Natasha shared the new.
Yes, I shared that under my first post, but so I need to go back and make a new post then. I did not know there was a new event.
There's a new event.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can somebody share that on Dream Team for me, please, so I don't forget? But do pay attention to the times. Like, again, I just thought it was going to be the same time every day, like how they were doing it before. And I got myself all situated to watch the Zoom and nothing was happening. And then I rechecked the event and it had happened at like 7 o'clock this morning. So anyway, but don't fear, they are recording them. So if you want to catch them live and you can, find the times. If not, don't worry, we'll find the recordings. And for some reason, I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but now I can't remember it. So just in case some of you guys weren't on the power plan with me last night, and even if you were, it's a whole brand new day. So we're going to start how we always start. We're going to start with our rate of run. And we have a lot of new faces on here tonight. So I'm going to go through this again. Your rate of run, you're going to go into your cloud office. I'm going to do it with you. You're going to go into your cloud office and you're going to go into your business snapshot. So it's just on that very first page. Just scroll down to where you see it says My Business Dashboard, and right below that it says Business Snapshot. From there, you're going to go down under the qualification button. You're going to see current status, join date, paid, rank, things like that. Go to the column that says current QV. You're going to take that number and you're going to divide it by 13 because today is the 13th day of the month. So that number is what you and your team have been doing volume-wise. So take that number divided by 13. That's going to tell you the average of what you and your team have been doing so far this month. Now take that number, that average number, and multiply it by 31 because there are 31 days in July. The number you are now looking at is the number that you are currently on pace to hit. Does it mean you're guaranteed to hit it? No. Does it mean you could go beyond it? Yes. It's just a great way to keep an eye on you and your team and where you're at based on your goals. We are at the 13th of the month, so we're almost to the middle. Like, to me, we're in the middle of the month, but we're almost to that exact halfway point. So when you look at that number, are you halfway to the goal you have set? If you aren't, it's time to up your game. If you are, don't take your foot off the gas. Because here's the tricky thing about rate of run. If we did our rate of run on the 5th, well, the 6th, after the 5th, we had that auto ship on the 3rd, then the 4th and the 5th, we had a promo, right? If you did your rate of run on that day and you were like, sweet, I'm done, I don't have to work for the rest of the month, you're in for a rude awakening because auto ships and promos can really bump up your numbers. Now we're in the middle of the month, you're getting more of a realistic number, right? So take that number and work with that number. Let that number guide you on what you need to do. Do you need to do more reach outs? Do you need to do more follow-ups? Do you need to start digging down and helping thrivers, your current thrivers, thrive for free? Do you need to go through your downline and find non-promoting promoters who have dropped off the face of the earth that maybe just really, truly, honestly wanted to be customers and they just need some customer service and someone to care about them. That's what that number says to me when I look at it. Like, it's great to have a goal and it's great to have a number, but use that number to guide your activity, okay? All right, so I'm going to open the chat because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of chat going on tonight. We are going to talk about making money with Lavelle specifically. And please let me preface this by saying I am not an accountant. I am not a bookkeeper. If there is one thing about owning businesses that I absolutely cannot stand and put off to the last second, it is bookkeeping. I love making money. I love setting goals. I love doing all that fun stuff. I love marketing. But then when people want me to keep track of what I have and where it went and how to, I think because it sucks the fun right out of it. But anyway, I'm going to share with you just some things that I know from owning businesses over the years. And I want you guys to share with me too, because remember, I'm not an accountant. I do pay an accountant, and I will talk to you guys about that here in a minute also. Some of you may do your own taxes. Some of you have maybe not even had to worry about taxes before. But here's the thing, and this is going to be the like rip the Band-Aid off of this whole thing. The day you clicked promoter, you opened a business. Now, the day that you opened a business, did you open a separate checking account? Did you open a separate savings account? Did you buy yourself a filing cabinet or at least some manila envelopes to start keeping track of stuff in? I'm going to guess that the answer is no. A lot of you probably didn't. And here's the thing. That's okay. But now you know that it's important. So we're going to talk about that because taxes can make or break you. Like, Uncle Sam could be your best friend, or he could like pull all the money right out of your pocket. So we're going to talk about making money and all that jazz. So the first thing I want to talk about with you is your mindset when it comes to money, when it comes to your commissions. At the end of the day, to me, money is just paper. Okay. Like, if you know me, you know I'm not driven by the fancy things that money buys. However, that paper is what allows me to have experiences and have freedom and have choices and options in my life. And so that paper is pretty important to me. So I make sure to show my money respect. And I have been a big believer for years that when you show your money respect, your money will respect you back. So if you have a purse and you've got dollar bills stuffed in every little corner, today's the day to pull them all out, put them in order, face them in the right direction, know how much money you have, and know where it's at. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a little hidey hole in this purse and a little hidey hole in your dresser. I don't care how you keep your money or how you tuck things away. I'm just saying the sooner you take the responsibility and you show money that you mean business and that you're here, like you didn't come to play, like you came here to count and you know where it's at, the sooner that mindset will turn your money into a respectful money-making situation, okay? Now, how does that translate to your Lavelle business? Oftentimes on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern, I will get messages of people like, holy cow, best commission ever. Like, those are the ones you love, and right? Every blue moon, I'll also get some that are like, I got $7. Or what am I supposed to do? I did all this work and I got 20 bucks. Okay, first of all, to me, this is just me talking, that's a horrible mindset. It's $7 more than you had. It's 22 bucks more than you had. And here's the thing, it's not even your money. That's your business's money. That's not your money. And the sooner you realize that, and the sooner you start treating it that way, the sooner you're going to get a better idea of what owning a business is like. So when your company, when your promoter business makes a paycheck, it's not even a paycheck, you guys, it's a commission check. When your promoting company gets a commission check on Tuesdays, that is your business income. That belongs to your business, okay? So case in point, and I'm gonna just make this real life example so you guys can kind of understand, because I do think it's confusing For some reason, when you're in it, it's confusing. And I'm just going to use even dollar amounts. Let's say I walk into Walmart and I'm going to buy $100 of groceries. When I hand the cashier that $100, that belongs to Walmart, right? Walmart then has to take that money and decide where it goes. You, my friends, are your own Walmart. When you get that commission check, you have to decide where it goes. You got all kinds of options. And this is where we're going to start forking off into some different thoughts, and you guys can start hitting me up in the chat. My rule of thumb is that 40% of that goes into the business. So, for example, when I get a commission check on Tuesday, if it's $100, $40 stays in that account. It stays in the business. Okay? It does not come into my pocket. So if it's $10, $4 of that does not come to me. I only take $6. Okay? If Walmart took every penny you ever gave them and just put it in their pocket and walked away, how would they keep the lights on? How would they pay the employees? How would they stock the shelves? Right? So you don't have employees to pay, thankfully, at least yet. You get to Maria's level, you're going to need some assistance. You don't have shelves that you have to stock necessarily, but we're going to talk about why it's good to have some of that stuff on your shelf. But here's the gist with this. So let's backtrack a little and say you've got your first job out of school, you're working at the Dairy Queen, you're all excited, you're going to make $10 an hour, and you get that paycheck, and it looks more like you made $6 an hour, and you're like, what? I had an album picked out I was going to go to Sears and buy. This is a true story, by the way. What happened? Where'd your money go? It went to taxes. It went to Uncle Sam. It went to Social Security. It went to healthcare. It went to whatever's coming out of your check. When you get a commission check, there's nothing taken out of that check. So you have to hold back some money so that at the end of the year, when they come to take it out of your check, you have it to give. Okay, so that's the basics of it. So here's the thing I would encourage you all to do tomorrow morning if you haven't already done this. You need a completely separate checking account for your business. Wait. I would not call the bank and ask for a business checking account, okay? Business checking accounts have a lot more fees and regulations to them. They have, most of them will have higher requirements, and it'll change per bank. Everyone's bank's going to be different. I would just open a second checking account. And no matter what you want to call it, your business goes under your Social Security number, so it goes under your name. So if you want to give it a fun name, I could call it the Dream Team, blah, blah, blah. But no matter what I call it, it's all showing up under Tammy Battaglia with my Social Security number. So to me, being a sole proprietor this way, I just keep my names on the check. I don't pay extra fees. I don't call the business checking account. It's just an additional checking account. That is the account that you want your Payoneer going into. So yes, it'll be a pain in the ass. Yes, you'll have to change your Payoneer to this new account. But trust me, you're going to be glad that you did it in the end. Because let me explain to you what happens. On Tuesday, Payoneer sends $100 to this new business account that we're not telling the bank's a business account, right? And if it's from the same bank, you can do a wire just online transfer. If it's not, you can write a check. I have been considering this. I have the Payoneer card. Yes. I didn't do it. Okay. Oh, chat's like coming on all of a sudden. Yes. Okay. So follow me here. So you're going to have Payoneer put all your commission checks directly into that account. It's still your payday, you guys. After your commissions get put in. So like, for instance, my commissions hit on Tuesday. They don't always show up in that checking account until Wednesday or Thursday. So my payday isn't until Wednesday or Thursday. And that is when I go, oh, okay, Lavelle gave me $100. I am transferring $60 to me. I'm taking $60. I'm taking 60% for me. Now, again, I'm not an accountant. You guys are all going to fall in different areas. The more money you make, the more money you need to put back. As you know, we have some other businesses, so we already take some hits on the other side. So I'm comfortable at the 60-40. If you want for the first year or so, do 50-50. Whatever, I would rather you have extra money saved up to pay taxes and not have to pay them, because then you can put them in your, that is your money, versus you panic and call me and be like, oh my gosh, I don't have this money to pay my taxes. Okay. So I write myself a paycheck. That's my money. That goes into my personal checking account. That's what I buy groceries with. That's what I buy birthday presents with, blah, 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 right? Over here in my Lavelle account, that money can now be safely reinvested into my business strategically, because I don't really want to pay all those taxes, right? So what am I going to do? So, okay, so in the case I gave you, I have $40 left sitting in that account right now. Do I let $40 sit there, or do I buy a bottle of Scalt and use it for a giveaway? Do I do rebates, shipping for a few people? Okay, I'm sorry. There's some questions. Mine as well, Fargo, we can open it. Yes, I probably put in much more than 40%. And helps a lot with our taxes. Laura says you will get to the point where you'll need to make quarterly. Yeah, the more money you make. Okay, so here's the thing. When the IRS is like, wait a second, she sent us a big payment in April. We don't want to wait for April to get her money because she owes us money. We're going to start taking money from her every 3 months. Here's the thing. When you get to that point, you will probably have an accountant's help, or you will have a better understanding of what's going on. For right now, I would say the majority of you are just going to pay taxes once a year, okay? But even if you get to the point where you need to pay it twice a year or 4 times a year, this system will ensure that you have money to pay them, okay? So make sure you have this separate account. Here's the other kicker. That account that Payoneer is dumping into, right? Let's say we did a double triple and I have promised everybody $200 back instead of $240. So when that paycheck hits, I can't just look at that and be like, oh, I'm going to take 60%. I promised my commissions to people as a rebate, right? So I'm going to go through that and be like, okay, from this check, all of this has to go in this account because I'm now going to write rebate checks off of this account, or I'm going to Venmo out of this account for those rebates. But you keep all of your income in that account. So anytime let's think, what's some of my, now that we haven't had a local in forever, I feel like I haven't spent, but let's pretend it's normal time and I have a local and I've got to go buy balloons for my local. I'm not pulling $3 out of my purse. I'm using my debit card that's connected to my Lavelle checking account and I'm swiping it. And why do I do that? Because I have an instant receipt. I have an instant record of money I spent specifically for this business. Okay, are you guys following me? How much easier this makes keeping track of stuff? And I will tell you this also. Even if you don't use an accountant every year, when you are building this money up and you're seeing money sit in this account, use that money, invest it in an accountant at least for 1 year. Sit with them, learn from them, ask them questions, because here's the kicker, you guys. You can go online and look at stuff. Every state has different rules. Sometimes within this state, you'll have some different rules. You need somebody local professionally to give you some guidance. Some things are just like across the board. And you got to keep fresh on this stuff because it does change quite a bit. Like some stuff you could deduct a few years ago, they're weird about now. So keep a separate checking account. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Well, they've not come to audit you yet, so you never know. Our taxes are way too muddy for me I can't do it. I can't do it. So now let's say I've been doing it differently. Okay, well that's okay. And some people do it differently. If you have a way you do it and it works for you, ignore me. Like legit. Like I'm just here to tell you what I do because I think it can get confusing and I think people need to keep track of this stuff. So same thing. Now you have this separate checking account with this debit card, right? Well, let's say you need to go to Walmart to get some manila envelopes to mail trial packs. You use that checking account to buy that. That is a business expense. When you go to the post office to mail it, when you buy the postage, you use that checking account. That is an expense. Literally at the end of the month, when you get your checking account, check register online or however from that account, you already know every charge on there was business related. If you see the post office, you know that was shipping for Lavelle. I have gone to the post office before and been like, I need to mail these 3 things, and I've used my Thrive account. That's what I'm gonna call it for easy peasy. And then I have mailed something and been like, this is on my our landlord account. And then I have had to mail something that is for Fitness for You. And I have 3 debit cards. And that is how I keep track. That is how I know what got spent on what where. If you think you can use one account and you'll remember where everything came from, there's no way I could do it. Danielle says, I need to start a checking account and a savings account for my business. 9 times out of 10, I turn my commissions into credits. But then when we have a promo where we can't use credits, I don't have cash. Exactly. Yes. Credits are awesome, but you got to remember, sometimes they're going to say that you can't do that. So I do think it's important. And you guys, early on when you're making money with Lavelle and you're getting like the $20 and the $7 and the whatever, you let that build up. Let that build up to, because what is it? We lose $2 when we transfer it. I can't remember. $2. Let that build up and then just give yourself 1 deposit a month or 1 every 6 weeks. Like, don't lose $2 every single week. That's going to add up and be kind of silly. Also, you guys, when you take your credits and you send them to customers or you convert, so if it's your commission and you convert it to credit, it goes into your Lavelle credit column, right? And then from there, you're transferring it to promoters and customers. You can do it monthly, whatever works for you. I typically wait till the end of the year and I shouldn't. I need to do it sooner. You can go into the cloud, you can run your cursor over all of that, highlight, copy it, and stick it in an Excel spreadsheet. And now you can keep track of how much commission you would have made. It would have gone into your checking account because it would have been your commissions, but instead you gave it all away. So now you have that dollar amount to say, hey, I took that money that I would have been taxed on, but instead I used it to build my business, except for your refer to credits, correct. So, but that's why it's so important to copy and paste that, because your refer to credits are they're just a gift. They're just a gift from the big man. Paul Gravett himself, right? So yeah, those are free, so you can't really keep track of those. You don't want to give red flags. So I would encourage you I started one, I think earlier this year, and I really didn't look at it. Now I have the extra. Yeah. So do you mean you started an extra checking account? Right. Yeah. So now Sonia has money sitting there. She can run promos. Now here's the kicker, you guys. Don't forget and let that money sit there, because if you let it sit there at the end of the year, they're going to tax you on it. They're going to take all of that money. They'll be like, oh, girl, you didn't need any of that to run your business. We would like that now. So here's the thing though. Don't wait till December. Don't wait till December and be like, oh my God, I'm going to buy $4,000 worth of product and I'm going to have a giveaway. Spread it out over the years. Don't give them red flags. When lifestyle getaways get fired back up, that's business travel. When Thrive Palooza gets fired back up, that is business travel. When people say, I don't know how I'm going to pay for my hotel. Well, if you would start this checking account now and you start putting that money in there, and maybe you don't use it for any, I don't know what your paychecks look like. Maybe you don't use it for anything until they announce Thrive Palooza. You will have enough money in there to pay for your hotel, to pay for a flight, to pay for food while you're there. And that is all a tax write-off. And that is so important. So here's the tricky thing. People love to be like, yeah, but that's a tax write-off. Okay, yeah, but you have to have the money to buy it. So it's great that it's a tax write-off, but if you don't have the money to buy it, you don't have a write-off going on anywhere. And I'm not saying, like, it's not like you guys have ruined your whole world. Like, if you don't have a separate checking account, okay, no big deal. Stop what you're doing now. Go tomorrow. And you can look online, there are lots of different banks that will let you do checking accounts with absolutely no fee. Some of them will be like, there's no fees for this account, but you have to keep $50 minimum in it. But again, if you tell them it's a business checking account, they're going to tell you to keep $1,000 in there. So don't mention business checking. Just open another checking account. Okay. They just automatically assume if you're a business, you got it going on. Something else I want you guys to think about. We can do this business from anywhere. And I love and appreciate that tremendously. I've been known to do many reach outs from the backyard, many reach outs from the bedroom, and I've done reach outs on vacation. However, if you come into my home, you will see an office. You will see a room with a door that has a desk and a computer. Nothing else goes on in this room. It's not my office and his office. It's not my office and Pat's playroom. It's an office. If you have a designated room that you work from, that square footage is considered your home office. Now, why does that matter? Again, I'm just using round numbers because math is hard. Let's say that here at home, we get an electric bill and it's $100. And my little room is 10 by 10. So that makes it 100 square feet. And we live in a house that's 1,000 square feet. So I have 10% of the house is dedicated to my office. 10% of that electric bill is a tax write-off for my business. Now, if you sit at your dining room table and that's the only place you have that you do your office work, you cannot claim to have a home office. Home offices are one of those things that it's awesome to have, but if you don't do it properly, you'll get audited, and nobody wants to get audited. Like, that's like my worst nightmare. Oh my God, somebody like go through my horrific paperwork. So I encourage you, if you have a little spare room somewhere that's not being used, clean it out. Put up a table and a chair. Call it your office. I don't care if you ever sit in it. Maybe you prefer the couch, or maybe you prefer the bed. That's cool. I don't care. But if you have one, that's a great way of helping take, Sandra has the treehouse, so Sandra's office was a bedroom when her child was there, and that child is now gone. And so that bedroom has been converted into an office. If that bedroom was still a bedroom and she put her table, her desk over in the corner, you can't count it. It's got to be. Now, could you throw up a cot and some sleeping bags if somebody came over? Sure. If you know you're going to be audited, can you pull out the toy chest? Yeah. But I'm just giving you the rules, I guess. Okay. Olivia says Thrive-Palooza is exactly why I started mine, so I could go ahead and have your ticket. Yes, and that's the thing, you guys. I know sometimes because a lot of people get into this as a hobby. Suddenly it's like this, I can't spend the money on this, or I can't do this, or my husband says I can't, blah, blah, blah. It's your business. If you keep your commission checks separate from your paychecks, which is what I'm telling you to do, your spouse can argue with you about your paycheck, right? So like I said, my paycheck is what we buy groceries with. If I just come home one day with a big diamond on my neck or something, and Tom's like, why don't we have food? We can argue about that paycheck. We're not arguing about those commission checks. That belongs to the business. That's to help cover business expenses. So that's, to me, the best way to keep track of stuff. TJ says, I have a promoter training. Having a promoter training your first day. And yes. So TJ went all the way to Arizona. Yes, he enjoyed himself while he was there, but he also partook in a promoter training. Tax write-off. He had to fly to Arizona and he had to fly home. He had to eat while he was there. Laura says, add any maintenance updates after. Yes. So like when I was referring to the electric bill and you get like the percentage of your home office, let's say that you put on a brand new patio out back. That, based on the numbers I gave you earlier, the 10% of my square footage, 10% of that patio, the cost of that patio could be written off towards my home office. Again, be smart with those things because they look for those, but you absolutely can. That's one of the big perks of having, like when you talk to people and they're like truly all about numbers and all about business, and they're like, yeah, so-and-so bought so-and-so opened this is a real life story, right? So-and-so opened a store downtown. She's never opened though. And then you get the story. It's because her husband makes so much freaking money that they bought this little shop downtown as a tax write-off. Whether she's open or not, she's paying rent, she's keeping it stocked, and they're writing all that off. It's probably a great position to be in life. But there are a lot of perks to being self-employed. Danielle says, so get a checking and savings account. The savings is up to you. I basically deal with just the checking because to me, for business, checking is cash flow. But if you have so let's say if you have long-term goals for your business, something you're saving up for, say a new computer or maybe that Thrive Palooza, and you want to make sure you don't touch any of that money, then yes, you could open a savings account. If you're really, really good with your checking and you can just automatically know that you're not going to touch a certain dollar amount because it needs to be saved for the computer or Thrive Palooza, then yeah. Into checking account, put 40% into savings. Wait, get a checking and savings account, commission checks into the checking. Your commission checks are going to go into your checking, yes. From 40% is going to stay in there. Okay, 40% is going to stay in there. 60% is going to go into your personal account, what you buy groceries and stuff with. 60% of your commission check is your paycheck. Because remember, commission checks go to the house, they go to the business. So when Lavelle sends you a commission check, you put that into the business. And then the business is going to divide that 60-40, give you 60 and keep 40. That 40% is what you're going to use to run your business, to offer promos, to buy product, to go on trips, to pay for postage, all that stuff. So you're telling me to take down the twin bed in my office. I mean, if you feel like you're going to get audited anytime, hell yeah, I'd be running that thing out of there real fast. Okay, I haven't been, see, and that's the other thing too. So a lot of times I hear people working really hard. You guys have seen Danielle's name pop up left and right. Shout out here, shout out there, shout out there. Danielle just said, I'm not keeping anything for me. There's two thoughts. Oh, we only have 6 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll do my best. There's two trains of thoughts on that. So a lot of times when you're a business for yourself, like a brick and mortar, or like our bin boss, we don't intend on making money. We don't intend on taking a paycheck for at least a couple of years. That's just the nature of starting a new business. Here's the thing though, you guys, as a promoter, you don't have the startup cost. You guys aren't paying for rent. You're not paying insurance on a piece of equipment or a building. You're not paying to have inventory, to stock the shelves, to run machines. You can, from day one, start taking money. Now, how fast do you want to grow? Maybe you don't do the 60-40. Maybe you do 40-60. Maybe you keep more maybe you only take 40% for yourself, but there's no reason. That's the beauty of an MLM. You don't have those you're not paying for advertising. You're not paying for training. You're not paying for the things that if you had a brick and mortar that you would have to be paying for. You're not paying for workers' comp. There's so much that goes into the money that a business makes that you guys don't have to mess with. So to me, minimum is I take 60, the house keeps 40. But if I really want to grow my business, I could just keep 10 and give 90 to the house. And we could just keep investing it into products and people, right? So that's up to you. That's up to you running your business. But just make sure you know when that check hits from Lavelle, when Payoneer sends money, they are sending your business a commission check. They are not sending you money. The sooner you realize that and wrap your mind around it, the more you will start running a business. Okay? Don't give away 100%. You guys, you're working. Get paid. Get paid, girls. Get paid. Girls and TJ. Sorry, TJ. Okay, so I feel like I threw a lot at you. Do we have questions? Have I confused you? Is everyone going to blow up the bank tomorrow and get a checking account if you haven't already? Part of this is it's a great way for you to keep your hands out of the till so that you don't get to the end of the year and owe taxes and not have money. The other part, which to me is so much more important, is that literally every business purchase that I make is already being kept track electronically. Like I said, when I swipe it at Walmart to get packaging to mail something, I already know on this checking account, if it says the USPS, that was shipping that I used to mail a trial pack. Now, you do need to spend time with this. So like, let's say you go to Walmart. Okay, case in point. Let's say I go to Walmart. I'm going to have toilet paper, paper towels, hand sanitizer, God only knows what. That's all going to go on the Fitness for You credit card, right? And then I'm going to have maybe some stuff for the house. Maybe we need a toilet paper for home. That's going to go on my personal. And maybe I pick up some padded envelopes to mail samples. That's going to go on my Lavelle debit card. So I can't just be like, oh, I spent $300 at Walmart today. Like if I just put it on one account, I would have such a hard time knowing what I spent for what for who. So that's why to me it's so important. Edie says, do you recommend putting back more than 40% to someone who hasn't put anything back? Yeah, if you haven't been putting anything back all year, I would start putting probably 60% back and keep 40, and just make sure that everything you hold back for the business that you reinvest. Start offering free ship. You guys, that's the thing. Sometimes people are like, I don't have enough product. Or like a thing will come out and they're like, I don't have any money to take advantage of that $400 pack. Oh my gosh, yes you do. It's in your business account. And how can you pass that up? Because your upline's going to give you a rebate. And so you're going to get $400 of product for like $200. Like that's a smart business decision. But you have to have that cash. So if you're putting it back and it's sitting there and it's ready, then you can use it. And if you only have $20, that is free shipping to a new customer. You can offer $10 off shipping for 2 new customers. Right? So don't downplay what you have. But yes, if you've not been putting anything back, especially for some of you girls who've just hit the ground running and you're making more money than you ever thought possible, I know it's exciting, but don't go buy that Gucci purse just yet. Put money back, because the IRS is going to come knocking and they're going to say, hey, you owe us, like, let's say you owe us $2,000, but then you can say, hey, Uncle Sam, actually I don't, because I spent that $2,000 on XYZ. Okay. I know it's a lot, and I crammed it in. I talked really fast. Sandra says, even though Charlie is technically a promoter right now, he never has commission transferred. It always goes to credits, and then most gets, yeah. So keep track of that. Yeah. I mean, Tom's a promoter. He got a new customer today, by the way. Sonia says, I try to keep a spreadsheet of what I give away. Yeah. So when you're actually giving away physical product, it can get tricky, but that's the thing too. If you're buying yourself product to use that you're going to consume, buy it with your personal account. If you're going to buy product to give away, buy it on your business checking account. There you go, right there. You don't have to worry about it. Makes it even easier. Okay, it's going to cut us off. Does anybody, if you have questions, you'll just have to maybe send them to me, or we'll try to get back on here and do this again. But again, I encourage you to invest a couple of hours into an accountant. For sure, for sure, for sure. Especially as your business. If you're 12K or up, I would consider an accountant. Because so that's the whole thing. Like my lease on my car, the whole lease is written off every month. If you buy your car, you write off your mileage. We didn't even talk about that tonight. Oh my gosh, it's going to cut us off. Okay, bye. Here we go. And we're gone.